You know we be with it, we off in the hood like some wizards. Nobody ever gave us anything. Meant something from nothing, just like magicians. Gotta relearn everything. Just to remember that I was forgetting. Just to remember that we had a vision. Did it all, don't know how I did it. Time to go kill season to go and you know those crystal truths. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we know the vision. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Star season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we know the vision. Off on the mission, you know how it goes. Off in the system, they turn up their nose. They took all the soil, but they didn't know. Through the concrete, you see the roads. Eyes ain't open, don't mean I ain't woke. Ain't got no cash, don't mean that I'm broke.
Welcome to Ascending Beyond Limitations. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I am attuned to the creative inner beings that seek to express in, through, and as me, as we come here today to serve the divine, to give you wisdom and understanding so that the divine can flow through you easily and effortlessly. So take what resonates. Let the rest just flow by. If it doesn't suit your need, if it's not for your highest and greatest good, if it doesn't serve you, if it makes you itch, because I guarantee you, you'll come back around for more when you're ready. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome, Marcus.
Welcome indeed. Welcome indeed. And welcome to all of you that are tuned in, tapped in for this Sunday edition for the first time in this new time frame at 3:33 p.m. on the Pacific time and 6:33 p.m. on the Eastern. Thank you guys for being here, being a part of this beautiful divine space, as I am Marcus Christolight, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness, and our co-host, Sandee Marshall, over in California. And
Awakening with Sandra. Yep.
What a journey it's been so far. I mean, wow, we're on episode 6 now.
Episode 6, baby.
Wow.
It's been magnificent.
The material that we have gone over has just been so profound. And I really trust and believe that those that have been on this journey with us have been able to really acquire and really come into a remembrance, or at least a contemplation within their own mind of who they are, what their relationship is here with creation, and what their relationship is with the creator and higher power that they resonate with. And I want to emphasize that they resonate with, because in these spaces, there is no dogmatic structuring. There is no needing to make you believe anything or feel any different about what your higher power is or what your belief system is, but really just to extract any wisdom, any information, any energy that could help bring an addition to your life, can help you strengthen your connection with whatever that resource is for you, for your higher power. And that's really the goal here, is to bring that energy, bring that intention, and allow you to connect deeper to your own self and your relationship with your higher power.
Higher power. What? And it's whatever you choose to label that higher power. Just like the Webster Dictionary can update and change around their definitions and have 3 or 4 definition meanings that mean one word. This is the same way that you can move through the growth in your life, and change is going to be a constant. It's okay to change. It's okay to change a label. It's okay to change a definition of a word you used to use. It's okay to give it different energy. It's okay to expand it. It's okay to alchemize it. It's okay to feel it, right? We've been told all our life that as human beings, we're supposed to subdue our feelings. We're not supposed to feel them. We're supposed to either jump over them or push them down, and we're not supposed to feel. But the reason why the divine gave us feelings and emotions is so that can be our compass or our GPS. You think the divine would allow humanity to make a GPS for your car and not for you? But understand that everything the divine has always been talking to and through you. You just weren't aware of that part, and that's okay. Now, when you get to know about Ra, and you get to even Jesus or Buddha, that these weren't just men seeking religion or religiosity or just saying the woo-woo spiritual. They were going in deep to have a connection with the divine in all its forms. And if they can do it, we all can, right? The divine gave me, you guys are going to have a really good time, right? Because in this book, before Ra gets to talking, they were talking about another divine being who was channeling through them too, called, I believe I'm going to pronounce his name correctly, or actually their names, Hatnon, Hatton. Hatton. Is that Hatton or Hatnon, right? If you want to, I believe Marcus is going to do it. He's going to pull up a little bit of information about that. Do you want me to spell it one more time, Marcus?
Yeah, you can go ahead, even for the collective as well, in case.
Okay, so it's capital H, lowercase a, T, O-N-N. And they called it an entity. It was an entity that they mentioned in the book, The Raw Material, right? And they asked Hatnon a question. And then they wrote, according to an entity called Hatnon, who has spoken with our group and several others for many years, the purpose in being here, in actually coming to the earth plane, in being here of a least, now I'm going to read it exactly like they wrote it. So if they're not doing the proper grammar, bear with me. I'm reading it from the book. Okay, so the proper grammar was used that this higher being used, using our verbiage. Okay, it says, Hatnon said, the purpose in being here of at least some of the UFOs, so meaning some of the UFOs that showed up that we consider UFOs that showed up, UFOs that are seen in our skies at this time, is much like the purpose that they might have in sending aid to a disaster-stricken or extremely impoverished company or country. It is a desire to be of service. And this is what the divine wants me to flow through in our discussion of the raw materials, because they came to serve. They're higher beings of higher energy, and they came to serve. Energy itself wants to serve you. All it's doing is waiting for a command. Yeah. So Hatnan says, we have been contacting people of planet Earth for many, many of your years. We have been contacting at intervals of thousands of years those who sought our aid. Those who sought our aid. It is time for many of the people of this planet to be contacted. For many now have the understanding and the desire to seek something outside of or outside the physical illusion that has for many, many years involved the thinking of this planet. That a lot of us are starting to think outside the box. And if you want to call that waking up or having an awakening moment, that the divine beings, they're tuned in and tapped in. They're hearing the call. Not only are they hearing the call of Earth consciousness and her body, but they're hearing our call too. We're calling out to them, even in our thoughts, even when we're not speaking words. If we're constantly having thoughts about something that your thinking might be for I might think that, aliens might be real. I wonder what they want with me. I wonder if they're really here to do a disservice to Earth. The moment you have that moment of embodiment, these higher beings are listening, and they're going to come to your aid with the information and the wisdom. And it's going to come through channeling. It's going to come through light language. It's going to come through people reading books to you. It's going to come through people giving you workshops. And they're going to, as long as we have communication processes available that we created, we want it to communicate around the world with each other. Those communication grids are the same grids that higher beings can tap into, right? And then Hatnan goes on to say, the process we are stimulating is one which is self-generating. Self-generating. They're answering the call because we're putting the call out there. We're putting the call out there. And they're answering the call. They're doing what our higher beings have come here to do, to choose either the affirmative or positive polarity or a negative polarity, and they're answering the call. They're here to serve. Their number one thing is to serve Earth consciousness and her ability to shift, inform, and expand and evolve. And guess what? We're tethered to her. We became tethered to her in third density. They're answering the call. They're our light. They're our light bringers and our light bearers. They're not
right her.
Right?
These things. This little suit.
Yeah.
Tethered us to the mother.
Right? Okay. Then Hatnan says, He says, as more and more of those who desire our contact receive it and pass it on to others, then those who receive this pass on the information will then themselves be able to reach a state of thinking and understanding significantly in, listen to this word, tune. Back to the octaves, back to the vibration, right? And Hatnan says, shall I say, with our vibration in order to receive our contact. That as you start to open up your gifts of being channeled through, it's because you opened up the gift. And they had a conduit. And you asked an embodying question. They're coming because we called them. Not all of us did. And you know what? They honor our free will. So for those who haven't called yet, they're honoring that free will. That's why a lot of them have not stepped foot into this third density. That's why you see the spaceships and the what we call their spaceships and stuff. They brought their home with them. It's not just a vehicle for them. Some of those are their homes, and that's how they've been here for eons and eons, waiting for people to wake up. They never went back to their galaxy world. They came off their galaxy world into their what do you call it? The caravan motorhome.
Oh man!
And they camped outside. In fourth density, fifth density, outside, and they watched over us, protecting us, answering our call.
Yep.
Through our vibration. I went, okay. I just went, okay. That answers my question, right? I'm just saying. Woo!
Wow.
We haven't even started on Raw yet.
But my.
They set the tone for this book. They broke it down. He has literally, we're going to be going through like 3 or 4 pages of his. Some people will say, okay, this is Hatnon and this is Iran. But no, this is like say Abraham Lincoln and his Gettysburg Address. They asked Hatnon one question, and he's got like 4 pages of information that he was giving them. Wow.
Before we begin, would you like me to play this clip that I found on Hatnon?
Yes, please do. Any more info? This is just Hatnon talking on this part. I want to know some more about this being, this higher being, because also remember that these entities, they are expressions of the divine. They're not out there. They're within the consciousness of the divine. They're expressed beings of the divine. They're coming. The divine is everywhere and nowhere all at once. They just came from a realm of the divine. Whew. I'm ready.
Today, I have a very interesting channeling to read for those who are fans of Quo or who are interested in the history of LL research. You can go to the website and you can look through older channelings. And the first recorded channeling that is on the website was actually delivered on March 1st, 1972, before I was ever even born. And Carla documented the channeling, and Don Elkins channels Hatton, answering questions from Carla in the channeling. The story behind the channeling is that she was writing a paper on maturity for an educational and developmental psychology class she was taking at Spalding College while pursuing an advanced degree. It was a direction she did not pursue, but it was in order to take a job with the school system of the county of Louisville and surrounding areas. And she needed 3 courses, which she got for emergency certification. The channeling took place after she had done extensive research on what the people in the field had said about maturity. It all had to do for the normal psychologist with behavior, how you behaved. I felt that was unacceptably shallow, as maturity has so many levels, not all of them behavioral. But nothing in the literature covered this, so I turned to Haton. This channeling was perfect in that it agreed with my feelings, and I used it to write my paper. The poor professor, she gave me an A, but said please don't share the paper with anyone, as she could get in trouble for allowing a discarnate source. I put this channeling in as an appendix to my paper. For those who are not aware, Quo is a group of higher, advanced beings that come from 3 billion years in the past, gathered together from multiple different planets, who offer services of spiritual nature to the earth, teaching primarily through channeling about things like the harvest and our own transformation into what they call fourth density. Quo is actually an offshoot from an original channeling, which they had done with Ra in 1981 through 1983. These were very intense channeling periods where the main person channeling, Carla Ruckert, would be completely out and would not remember anything that was channeled. 3 people were involved. So there clearly is a history of channeling that came before it. And it's interesting knowing that we get Quo channelings in 1990. We get the Ra channelings in the 80s, but the first channeling is Haton. Haton is a fourth density social memory complex. I've never understood which planet they're from. I have seen Haton references in other early channelings from the time. And there's a whole history of Haton channelings on the LL Research website. Quo is made up of Haton, Latui, and Ra. Latui is 5th density, Ra is 6th density. Together, they create the answer for the questions in the Quo channelings. I really enjoy the Quo channeling because it feels like an angel is talking to me. But I'm also super fascinated by the history of LL Research and the ways in which they channeled earlier on and how they are different, and in many ways the same. This beginning session goes far beyond just the question of maturity, with deep answers about thought and consciousness. The question opening implies that she had talked to Haton before, and there is a history of channeling with Carla, and I'm sure she was channeling Haton much longer before this had happened. She begins by asking, Haton, I am speaking through this instrument. I will speak to you on the subject of maturity. For this you have requested. As you have already indicated, this concept may be somewhat different from that which is generally appreciated by your peoples. Maturity, my friends, is in truth a maturity of the spirit, for in truth there is nothing but the spirit. Physical illusion, which you appreciate in your daily lives, is of no consequence other than for its result in action upon the spiritual self. Don Elkins channeling. I am Haton. I greet you, my friends, in the love and in the light of our infinite Creator. It is a great privilege to be with you once more. I am always privileged to be with you. These are the thoughts of the one known as Haton. I'm speaking through this instrument. I will speak to you on the subject of maturity. For this you have requested. As you have already indicated, this concept may be somewhat different from that which is generally appreciated by your peoples. Maturity, my friends, is in truth a maturity of the spirit, for in truth there is nothing but the spirit. Physical illusion, which you appreciate in your daily lives, is of no consequence other than for its result in action upon the spiritual self. Maturity, my friends, is the first realization of this fact. Secondly, maturity is the ability to control one's own consciousness in such a way so as to propagate the continuance of this maturing process. Maturity, my friends, then is realized in the ability to control one's consciousness. Unfortunately, upon the planet which you now enjoy, there is but very little true control of the basic consciousness. and therefore there is very, very little maturity. It is necessary first to realize the value of each thought you have, and then to reject those of little or no value. Most of the thoughts that we are able to discern occurring in the daily lives of those who dwell upon this planet lack maturity. For this reason, you might consider the planet upon which you live a planet of children. Their daily thoughts, communicated to one another, hold them in this state. It is a self-propagating thing, communicated from one to the other. It is necessary to reject thoughts that continually infringe upon your mind from your present environment, and to carefully select each thought that you generate in order to reach a state of true mental maturity. You might ask how it is possible to select thoughts of value from thoughts that are meaningless or of little value. It is very simple, my friends. All that is necessary for you to analyze the thought with respect to the real objectives of your person. If the thought has true consequence, if the thought is of a true developmental nature, that is to say, if it develops either your consciousness or the consciousness of someone else with whom you are communicating, then it is a worthwhile thought. If it does not develop the consciousness, then it is probably of very little value. Now, how will a thought or concept develop into consciousness? There are several ways. One technique of development is simply evolving the ability of analyzing the merits of your thoughts. After this has been done, the thoughts themselves will act as generators of the maturing process. Each thought you have is important. It is important either in a negative or a positive sense. If it is a thought that is of no consequence, it is important to recognize this thought as being of no value. If it is a thought of consequence, then it is necessary that you amplify it and utilize it and communicate it, or it too will be of very little value. Maturity, my friends, is the first ability to think in this manner. It is second to act in the manner in which you think. There are millions and millions of thoughts generated by the people of your planet each day. Very, very small percentage of these thoughts have to do with maturity. That is, a very, very small percentage of them have to do with creating a better environment for the growth of the spiritual self. By this, I mean actively causing spiritual development. What is spiritual development? It is the process of maturing, the process of maturing, the process of analyzing everything that you are aware of in a true and unbiased sense. In order to do this, one must be able to recognize truth. It is only possible for one to recognize truth by the process of allowing truth to communicate the absolute base for truth, which is ever present throughout the universe. This communication is accomplished primarily through the technique of meditation. There is a separation of maturity into primarily two aspects, intellectual and spiritual maturity. They go hand in hand, and one generates the other. However, it is not necessary to acquire intellectual maturity in order to acquire spiritual maturity. It is, however, necessary to acquire spiritual maturity in order to acquire intellectual maturity, for the intellect cannot accurately evaluate concepts without a true spiritual basis. There are three more things which I would like to speak about concerning maturity: the concept of infantile maturity, the concept of general or induced maturity, the concept of absolute or total maturity. The concept of infantile maturity is highly misunderstood upon this planet. An infant, upon incarnating into your environment, has a certain amount of maturity that he normally brings with him. It is not necessary to induce this quality of maturity through any system of education to the infant. It is only necessary that he be alerted to the possibility of generating a continuance through his own intellectual processes of his own spiritual evolution and consequently spiritual maturity. Unfortunately, your religious systems do not provide, for the most part, this stimulus. It is important that, in order for infantile maturity to progress at an acceptable rate, the infant be made aware at the earliest age possible of his responsibility in creating an intellectual communication with his total self. This is usually done through techniques of ritual and appreciation of the natural forces of the universe. The ritual that is employed by most of your religious systems upon your planet is highly ineffective, since it is generated primarily by force and is not freely offered to be accepted or rejected. Those even in an extreme infantile state who are appreciative due to their previous growth of the proper ritualistic communications will accept them and continue at their own pace, and should not be forced to attend weekly meetings at specific hours for these purposes, since they reach a peak of spiritual attunement that is a function of their own cyclical activities, and therefore should be able to seek out at any time spiritual communications and should be provided with a place for seeking. And this should be the limit of that which is expected of them. Your present system drives most of your people from spiritual seeking at a very early age due to the aspect of force, which should be totally removed. This is what we have experienced and what we have found to be most beneficial. The second aspect of which I speak is that of induced maturity, occurring in most unusual aspect among the peoples of your present society. This maturity, which is a false maturity, is induced by the social systems which are presently in effect upon your planet. Each system intellectually communicates an aspect of assumed maturity, which has nothing to do with real or absolute maturity. Therefore, much strife and confusion is realized by those who attempt to orient their thinking so as to reach the accepted state or level of the assumed concept of the mature mind. This concept is usually heavily intellectual, for your society at present is primarily an intellectual society with very, very little awareness of the existence or function of what you would call a spiritual society. Therefore, to mature within the boundaries of your present society and be accepted as a mature person, it is necessary to be able to communicate with it in its accepted intellectual jargon, which includes primarily a ridiculously long list of totally meaningless concepts. These should be, if one is to attain true maturity, rejected as meaningless, for they are extreme transients and have nothing to do with spiritual maturity. The last aspect of maturity upon which I wish to speak is that of real maturity. My friends, there is only one way to reach real maturity, that is through meditation. You have said this many times. You cannot get there by intellectual mechanisms. You cannot get there by analyzing each of your thoughts and labeling it either worthwhile or worthless. All these things are aids, but without the foundation of daily meditation, you cannot use this analysis, for the result of this analysis is insulated from the total self by a boundary. This boundary is permeable, but this boundary is only permeable when the mind is conditioned through meditation. Lack of meditation reduces this boundary to an impermeable state, all intellectual functions occurring on the surface and having little effect upon the growth of the true self. So you see, my friends, there is a dual process occurring. However, the meditation is always of the primary and greater importance. Once, however, the art of meditation has been fully mastered, the intellectual mind becomes a useful tool in the development of spirit. It is of little consequence until this state of communication between the two is mastered. Therefore, my friends, all is of no avail until receptivity is made possible through daily meditation. This not only breaks down the barrier between intellect and the spirit, it also breaks down all other barriers between spirit and the one great all. I hope that I have been of some service to you in this discussion. I realize that it is difficult to speak to you on the subject because it is a difficult subject if one is to use the parameters of your present society. We consider it very, very simple. Therefore, any true discussion of the subject should require no more than a few sentences. It has been a privilege to speak with you. Adonai, my friends, I am Hatan. We then move to the next channeling given by Hatan, which is on December 8th.
I don't think I have to read anything. I think he said it all. Whew. Malaku oti she no toku o ne na kua de e palo o she no toku u she na ta e no o se no she no ta ke e de sho na ta e. Delicious. Delicious.
I mean,
blown away, right? Kind of had one of those moments where everything was right?
yeah, I feel like I'm just like coated in this this blissful bubble of unconditional love after listening to that. Like that was just,
Right.
oh man, again, like I felt so heard, so seen for the way that I've been trying to just bring light to people and explain to people like what life really is. And wow, for that,
And here they've been doing it for eons and eons. They've been talking to us as long as human beings have graced this planet, and that's what they say. That's what the divine tells me every time. It's some people, you guys call yourselves viruses and scourges, but you don't see the glory and the beauty that I see within you. I created you I created you as a gift for myself to move through and feel form. What a wonderful experience I'm having. And and all the divine, while I was kind of reading and skimming over this and going, how did I miss this? Where I knew I had things highlighted, but how did I miss the juiciness of this? That Hatanon was telling us in everything that they did, they answered the call. Wow. They got in their RV and traveled the cosmos to answer the call of Earth consciousness that said, hey, I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forwards. And mankind's, they're kind of pulling me down. I need to show them how to pull them up. Help. And the only amount of help that the divine said, that Earth consciousness asked of the divine, is, I want free will to continue. They can have any kind of play. They can play anything. They can be on whatever level of the polarity they want to be, but no, they can't destroy me. They can't destroy the body. They can't stop the spin. They can't stop the evolution. Let them do whatever they want to do. And then the divine said, make it so. And so it is. And each time that they've called, they came out to serve Earth consciousness, is because she made the call. And the first time she made the call, eons and eons ago, they parked outside our quantum field, and they stayed and they watched. And every time somebody awoken, they tried to communicate to them. They tried to wait till our levels of wisdom and understanding, however we're learning it, came to pass, so that they could talk to us, so that they could communicate with us, because they didn't want to be something that you feared. They wanted you to be part of the all. They wanted you to be the source. And when we start figuring out that we're not just waking up just to say we got a little label and we're going to say, oh, we're spiritually awake and now we know a little bit. They want us to know it all, and then some. It's kind of like that video. I don't think I have to read the book anymore. I think you guys got it. I do.
Seriously.
Seriously. I think you guys got it.
Like, wow.
Because the divine just said your higher being, your physical body, and your conscious mind are triune. Triune. They work together. They pull each other up. They expand each other. Not only is it a push and a pull, not only is it yin and yang, you're triune. And then throw on top of that that these higher beings that came said you're multi-fucking dimensional. We could walk through walls if we wanted to. I don't suggest you go do that yet because I don't think you quite. I haven't mastered it yet. But if you get to that state where you can change the physics of your body and it becomes lighter, and I'm not talking about changing your diet or anything. I'm talking about tapping into the divine. The divine gave you this book right here. It says book 1. Do you know I think there's 12 books? I'm thinking either 12 or more. I think it's 12. But Ra was channeling this information. Can you imagine having all this information downloaded and part of our library that we could just pull it out and meditate on it? Take just one page of it and just go deep. That Ra says, I'm a 6 density complex. You know what a complex is? That whole planet transformed at the same time. They became a 6 density social complex. They managed to merge and become one in form. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And they're still formless. Holy fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can do it, the divine is saying, when somebody does something and you haven't done it yet, don't curse them because they've done it and you haven't. Say, if they can do it, I can.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Jesus was saying. Jesus says, I came so that you could see me do this, and this you can do and more. So what about metaphysics don't you get? Think about it. When you start breaking down the biology of how a baby can stay in a woman's womb 9 months, and then she can push that watermelon, bigger than a watermelon, out of a hole the size of a pea, and you get a full-on human being from an egg and a little bit of sperm. That's metaphysics. The divine knew what it was doing, and it's all in you too. Holy, it makes me excited to be me. That's all I can say.
Makes me want to shout. Shout. Hey,
Jump and shout, right?
Oh, man.
Man,
I'm about to jump out of this chair.
I'm just saying.
Ooh. I have a question for everybody.
Yeah.
And my question to everybody is, with all this meditation talk, what is one of your go-to meditations for everybody out there? Just kind of think for a moment, if you wish to, about what one of your go-to meditations are. And when I say meditations, I don't mean, of course, like, only sitting down, putting on guided meditation. But I mean, like, what is it that allows you and gives you that access space to feeling still, feeling connected to a higher intelligence, and being in your intuitive flow? And feel free to share in the comments. Feel free to share it for your collective brothers and sisters to see what it is that you like to do to access this meditative state. And that's how we help each other, by sharing what it is that we do. And I'd love to see what you guys have to say in the comments.
Casey says a bath. That's one of my go-tos.
Yeah.
Meditational baths. Matter of fact, I used to think I could only meditate in the bath, and literally it would be 3 or 4 hours, right? I just go to another place, right? But I learned that I can. It's living water. No matter where your water comes from, it's living water. That's what you're getting. You can give, and the meditation with the living water is gratitude, being thankful and grateful. Before I even step foot in the bath, I give thanks for it. I thank the Mother Nature for the living water. I thank Gaia for the living water. And then I'm thankful and grateful to the people who created the estuaries and the pipes and everything, so that living water can come to me in infinite form. It comes to me hot or cold or lukewarm. I live in a great time where my meditational bath can take me away with its living water. When it comes through those pipes, it's not dead, right? Think about this. The desk that you sit at, whether it comes from IKEA or any place else, it vibrates. It has a different vibration than you, but it vibrates. It takes time, over a period of time, to change and evolve. We call it degrading. But the divine says calling it back to oneness.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
That's meditation.
One man's trash is the divine's treasure.
It's the divine's treasure. Jamie says taking a nice evening walk. Yeah.
Yes. Bare feet.
Yeah.
Oh, Casey, I'm curious. Feel free to put in the comments. What do you like to put in your baths? I love to hear what people use, because myself, I like to use different types of Epsom salts with essential oil blends. I'll use crystals, and also if you're someone that likes to use crystals, just make sure that you are able to either intuitively connect with that crystal to make sure it can't go into water, or just research it online, because certain crystals, due to their biological structure and the chemical compounds, they can diminish from water. So just be a little wary of that, you know. But typically, like quartz, amethyst, citrine, things along that nature are really great in water, and they actually help expand and amplify and deepen the programmings as well in the water, especially quartz crystal. But then I also like to do, like, you know, candle ceremony and incense. And sometimes I'll even do a little bit of sage smudge before I get in, just to clear out the energy field. And I'll play some either frequencies typically, or I'll play some really high vibrational good music that my inner child connects with. And that's like what my baths usually look like.
Yeah. Casey says, she says essential oils, Epsom crystals, and dried flowers. She says sometimes sage, incense. She just laughed. She said it's everything that you just listed. But I know when I burn sage, my sister has really bad allergies, so the sage doesn't help her. But I was thinking, does sage come in like incense, as opposed to the big bundle of sage? Does it come in incense form?
Yeah, you can get it in incense. And then what you can also do is, so if you like to get something that's smokeless, you can get this right here, which is a tea candle incense, basically.
Oh, okay.
And what it is that here on top, there's like a platform.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get these little round incense things.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the, you know, essential oil blends and stuff on them. And then you put it on top.
Okay.
And then you take a tea candle. If you guys don't know what a tea candle is, just one of these candles, the little small ones.
Mm-hmm.
You light that, drop it down here into the middle,
Okay.
and then you place this on top, and then the candles in the middle, and then it's a smokeless incense basically. And you can get different kinds. Like for example, I have right here
Ooh, she said sage
Palo Santo,
Palo Santo. Okay, I've heard a
Yeah.
lot about that.
dragon's blood.
And dragon's blood. Okay.
But yeah, that's a really good one for smokeless.
Okay, smokeless. Yes, that's because that's I don't. I need to. I like my sage. I really do. Right. So
They have a white sage one too. of
white
this.
sage. Okay. Casey also says she has sage spray. Ooh, that sounds nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can spray.
So, and guys, when you're out and about, or even when you're on your way to work or at work, being thankful and grateful is a meditation. It takes you out of the element of always looking at a negative. The more you're thankful and grateful, it takes you into the divine. And it's meditation. All of a sudden, you find yourself, sometimes somebody will ask you, how's your day? And you can't think of something negative to say. And you kind of wonder why. It's because you've been thankful and grateful the whole day. You found little things to be thankful and grateful about, while you're at work or grocery shopping or babysitting the grandkids you used to think about going home to the wife because she's going to start on you before you even get in the door. And all of a sudden you're being thankful and grateful for just that your children are healthy, your wife is healthy. You're being thankful and grateful that you did your work and you didn't look at the boss yelling at you because you were thankful and grateful for the fact that you only got 35 more minutes to go before you leave to go home. You start thinking about these things, and this is meditation. Being thankful and grateful for the things, just being thankful and grateful for the first cup of coffee that you had in the morning. And, hey, it came from McDonald's because you didn't have time to, you forgot to turn on the coffee pot, but you didn't have time for that. So you stopped at McDonald's. Usually McDonald's makes the worst kind of coffee for you, but that day it was a perfect blend. And all you could say was, oh, this tastes so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You meditated. You went into a positive vibrational space and you connected with the divine that's tethered to you and your higher being. That's meditation. That's what Hatnan is saying. That getting back to oneness, we've been told that we're separate from the divine. We have been told that for eons that we're separate. And now we have the oneness, the meditation takes us back in to the oneness of the divine. That's why Ra says that he is a servant of the Most High. He is the servant of the Creator that is and is not. They come here to serve, and they come here to serve. Who did they come here to serve? Us. And earth consciousness, part of the divine. This is why it's so hard for us right now, because if we're only doing it by our what we've been told that we're living and creating by our conscious mind, and we haven't tapped into that ability to connect with the divine, then we're only doing half of it. And that's why we don't get it right. Or that's why it doesn't feel good. Or that's why we're scared of our own shadow. Or we're scared of aliens that they've put in movies and in comic books and in whatever else series that they're coming to kill us. They're coming to destroy our world. They're coming to do us harm, so that when we actually do meet them, We're scared. We're fearing them. We're not going to accept their help. We're going to accept the help of people who are selfishly manipulating you based on their fear. They don't want you to see that. And I'm not going to shut this podcast down on Instagram or anything by saying names or affiliates or anything. You go decide who they are for you. And then you take a look at that and you get to say, well, I don't like the way they feed me fear. I think I'm going to meditate and find out how I can step away from that. That's your choice. See, the higher beings, our higher beings, they can't usurp your free will unless you give them permission. That's why these ships are flying around and they're not landing, because they can't usurp your free will, because some of you don't mind them being there. You welcome them. But there's others that their free will isn't ready to acknowledge that they're here for our highest and greatest good. You can acknowledge that they're here for your demise, but you haven't acknowledged that they're here for your highest and greatest good yet. So they can't usurp your belief system or our belief system. Well, not mine, because they can come visit me anytime. I want to know some more information. Right?
Ashe. Yeah.
Just saying. Back to you, Marcus.
Back to you, Marcus. Man.
Oof.
With that being said, your meditation is key. Whatever it is for you in your authentic nature. And remember, the more that you continue to feed that meditative nature, the more you continue to be repetitious and consistent as much as you can with this nature of yours, then the more that will become your autopilot, the more it will become your conditioning. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, many years in a row of routines and habits of mine that have placed me into my meditative states has ingrained into my subconscious and into my being, into being my new normal. I honestly, it's very hard for me to say when I'm actually not in a meditative state anymore, even through chaos, even through tense emotions. It's very difficult for me to ever really say that underneath it, when the emotions are flowing and when the other things are passing through in the experience, that there is not a feeling and sense of intuitive guidance, a sense of inner groundedness. Even if I am still going through my emotions, going through whatever it may be, it's still there, but very strongly, not subtly. And yeah, what Hatan had said is really ringed in its true nature for me for a good while now, about 10 years. And when I started really buckling up and becoming devoted and consistent with my self-care and self-awareness with the all, the channels become so clear and so simple and so instant that you really don't have to have that sense or feeling of strong attachment or strong holding on, because there is that gentle, graceful energy of the divine just present, and not just being present, but being acknowledged. And with that acknowledgement, you access eternal peace. That eternal peace can begin to flood through you and trickle into your manifestations and your reality.
I'm going to say, okay, got to read something. It says, as you have by now become aware, meditation is always suggested as the best means of obtaining understanding, of progressing spirituality, and understanding the nature of the illusion.
Oh.
Right? You hear everybody talking about illusion and, oh, it's just illusion. Yes. It's just like the dreamer having a dream about the dreamer being a creator. The dreamer, the creator, having a dream about the dreamer, you, or you, or you, or you, or you, or you, being the creator. It has to be illusion because illusion is malleable. You can change it. You can opt out of it if you want and change the whole story. It's like a lump of clay. You can turn it into anything, especially energy. How do you tap into energy? Meditation, going in and actually tapping in and actually seeing the energy that you want to create beyond your physical eyes. Beyond, I heard someone say, well, if I can see it, then I know how to change it. But the unknown, you don't see it. It's unknown. You have to jump into it and swim in it and shine your light and then create with it. And how do you get there? If your mind is what's keeping you from getting there because it thinks that if it's jumping into the abyss, it can't swim. It can't pull itself out. It can't see anything. It can't see anything but darkness, but you know something's there. Because you got the spirit of your light quotient in you, in your DNA. The divine did it on purpose. The divine did not make anything accident or random. That light quotient in you, you can access it once you get quiet enough. Once your ego takes a back seat and just says, you can tell your ego, just hush a minute. It's not that I want to get rid of you. I'm about to change your world in the way you see it. It's called growth and expansion. And how do you get there? Through meditation. And guess what? Everybody is not the same. There's not one size that fits all. Meditation, what it means to you and where it takes you is about your authentic self. Adnan says, the purpose for which you are experiencing it. You have illusion because you get the purpose to experience it and you get to change it at any time. Of course, it's going to be illusion. It's going to be energy. It's going to be transformable. It's going to be alchemized. You can alchemize it. You can put it in the fire and you can make whatever you want to make. It has to be illusion. Right? And then he says, each person is involved in an illusion or a game in which we may play. Earth, school, it's all a big playground. There's no classrooms. Our higher beings got together and said, I want to play. And think about when you were a little kid and you said, what do you want to play? I want to play cowboys and Indians. Well, somebody had to be the cowboys, somebody had to be the Indians, somebody had to be the sheriff, somebody had to be the horse, somebody had to be the hay that was being fed to the horse. Come on, really think about when you were kids, how real you made that. Earth school, Earth consciousness, one big playground. And when you're tired of playing the game, it's got to be malleable because you got to wake up to the story and go, I'm done. And then you turn and you go, oh, I'm going to go over there and play. I think I want to play with them. Right? And you decide, I want to play jets. They're playing jets over there. They're taking their arms and flying around and pretending that they're flying. I want to go do that. In your meditative field, you can go anywhere in Earth or on Earth school and play. Hatton says play. He said you can call it illusion or a game. How many of you sit on your computers or your TVs and have played those video games till you're so immersed in it because that's where you went? You didn't even realize you were in the game. I used to watch my son when he'd play. And then, come on, I watched him when he was talking to people while they were playing. And they were in it. And they were talking about I think it was, what was the one where they had the different combats and they had everybody running around and they were helping each other. It's a playground.
Oh, yeah. Probably Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a playground. And they were immersed in it.
Yeah.
Now, they did have to come back out of it because I had to say, hey, come on now. Come on back to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
But, Mom, real world is boring. Can I at least get to this level? And of course, I was a mom. I said, yeah, get to that level and then bedtime, right?
Yeah.
And then my son would wake up in the morning going, Mom, I had the best dream. I dreamed I completed the game because that's where the divine allowed him to go when he slept. Go inward and find that inner kid that'll allow you to meditate to that point where you can play. Playing is meditation. Listening to music is meditation. Going and watching your favorite television show so that you don't have to think about the bills that aren't paid yet. When you go in and you watch your television show and you become part of the story for just a little while. That's meditation. That's taking your mind away from it and allowing you to get into a vibrational moment where your ego is not talking at you. Where your ego is not keeping you in a now moment of despair and lack and pain or sorrow. So music can do it. Why do you think there are so many wonderful, beautiful souls waking up with tunes? They can go play the piano without anybody teaching them. They have lyrics in their head all the time. They're walking around, they're always humming. They're meditating. Have you listened to Marcus's music? Have you? Have you listened to the music that he chooses to show our episode this and episode that? When he chooses the music, he's in another realm. He's playing. It's malleable. He can take the music and make it what he wants to make it for what he needs it to be for. Have you heard Shauna Lee sing light language? I'm telling you. If you haven't heard her on YouTube or TikTok or IG.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lordy. I'm just saying.
Hold on. All right. You guys are in for a treat today.
I'm just saying. Woo. IG just we reached the hour mark.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago. But you were flowing.
It was flowing, but I through the peripheral, that's the divine. I don't stop the divine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's growth. We got things to do, people to see, places to be, but why not do it? Why not meditate while we're doing it? I guarantee you there's going to be somebody that notices a difference in you. They're going to look at you and go, man, you're really calm. Are you okay? You're not freaked out today? Because they're used to seeing you that way. Right?
All right. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
First, let me turn the music down over here. All right, we're about to explore a little bit of Shauna Lee's light language for everybody out there that may have or may not have experienced it yet. But this was from a live Lemuria crystal meditation that I did on Instagram and YouTube last week. And she was featured as a special guest and shared her light language. So feel free to open yourself up through your heart, through your mind, wherever else you feel necessary to receive, if you wish to, and enjoy. Peace. Codes of the ocean. For balance and energy.
Star is
and energy through their light language.
Mass is your wood. Where it here is Aswur. As is your us. Star im yam is bir. Garwar id your is nor ir is sar us asbir. Me I swear maru amuero swear Haresa Yaro Imweri Ures Bi Yari Imwa is we Naram where and we
Shikiapa Samana Shutia Sujoshuata Yasata Yashiana Sukuapa Yashiana Suati Ikia Shata Yasa Upikiana Shu Isimiatiata Ukutaya Shiana Sikutua Yashia Mayatu Yashukoya Nesiatia Ikutua Yashinakia Usuashi isinikoata ya Ukatashi ana Usuyena shinikolata ya shiatota.
Motukua Naikin, Shishulu Shishina, Nayusana Teki Konemehe, Senodoka Aindeki, Palusana Taku Udaim to Shishino Tukua. Mea Lamo Shena Te Olemehe Seno, Palusana Taka, Shisuluku Uta Shendo Tukua, Esanata Ia, the Kibodoku Unda. Shesunda kiana. Maluhu se sanata ian wate. Ishinuta ate ishuno toku. Maala ki motushiana. Isona toku. Tiata iete. Shinotoka. Maluhu senata ki ian late. Sinokuana shishu. Selo o de Tia Susona Totakira. She is Luku Ushana. She and Luku Ushana Taku Anehi. Be o surely me here. Nea Sena Taku Anemiki Zona de ear. Senotoku Ana Kia Senotoku Alemi. She Shuluku Ujate. Sesonaka Ate. Sonotoku Ujana. Shanata ki toka ne. Shionotoku ule into. Shionotoku ule meke enda ke. Shionotoku uja. Ala esewa. Bonukuate. Maluhula im shena. Shenotakiate usheno. Beata. Sholoku balakia. Atu. Ashte. Whew. It's hot in here.
Wow. Ooh.
It's hot in here.
Ooh.
Whew. Oh, my. My. How Adnan has channeled through us today. All of us. Even if you're going to watch it in replay. I believe it's for growth and expansion. Grow, expand. Be the divine you and growing and expanding. Don't try to be like somebody else. Be you. Be you.
Oh. Be you. Yes, I said you. Be you. Yes, I said you. Be you. Yes, I said you. Be you. You. You are the one. The one. You are the one.
One.
The one. You are the one. The one. You are the one. Be you. Be you.
You are wholeness. You are wholeness. You were born that way. You're sovereign. You were born that way. You are a sovereign, higher being in a form body, given permission to play. Go play. When you were a kid and mama said, go outside, make sure you come back home before the lights come on, the street lights come on, you went and played. You were up the street at one house, and then you and your friend went down the street to another house, and you were playing all kinds of sorts of things. You were outside playing. You were playing in the dirt. You were riding your bike and feeling the breeze on your face. Play. If you don't want to call work anymore, and somebody says, well, what time do you have to go to work? Oh, I'm not going to work. I'm going to play.
Yes.
They haven't understood it yet, but Adnan says you got to figure it out. You got to open up that heart space, and you got to play. And your mind your mind will follow suit.
Hmm.
Your mind will follow your heart chakra.
That's right.
Your ego will say, well, I want to know, I want to be part of something. And then your inner being will say, oh, sweetheart, you already are a part of it. Oh, little one. That's what my higher being says to my ego. My higher being says, little one, you got this. Just let her do it. Because my ego is like, oh, no, she can't do that. Oh, she's going to hurt herself. She's going to get in trouble. And I hear my higher being say, nope, she got this. Little one, just let her have it. You're going to learn something new. Sit back. Watch the show. Watch her play. We got to stop being so literal about the knowledge thing. Right?
Great.
Right? I think Ahatnan says, once an individual has become aware of the possibility of using the illusion in which he finds himself in the physical world for progression of spiritual growth, it is necessary that he take the next step and use his knowledge to express. So once he tapped into his heart space, the next thing that happens is he taps into his knowledge that becomes aware. Did you know that knowledge can become aware? Because it becomes aware that I'm a part of something. Right? Regardless of the potential that affect him, the love and understanding of the Creator abounds. The Creator knew what it was doing when it created our form to come and play in this what we call this dense polarity. We can either resist it or we can play along with it. The more you resist it, the more intense it gets. But as soon as you let go and just go, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Surrendering isn't a giving up, like you're surrendering and you're losing your liberation and somebody just won something over you. It's you're giving up the power of resisting to go with the flow of growth and expansion. And then you go play. And the backyard or the playground is, matter of fact, you talk about backyards too. The playgrounds are so big that you can go play in the multiple play areas are so vast in earth consciousness. You're a multidimensional being. So the divine has allowed us, even when we sleep, we go play in other realms. As long as we're not affecting those other realms, because we think that we need to touch every other realm, but we get to go play. And we're escorted by our higher being, who within that playground that we're playing in, we get to learn and bring back information for what we need to do in our now moment. Haven't you ever woke up and felt so, it was like you wake up and you wake up with a smile on your face? You may not be able to remember your dream, but you knew it was good. Next time, before you go to sleep, give your higher being permission to recall for you where you played at. What playground did it take you to? Why did you smile when you woke up in the morning? And guess what? We talked about this before. When you go to sleep, it's death. When you wake up, it's a rebirth. But it's not like a death, like you die and everything's over. It's your body is recharging, regenerating, recouping, and the higher being gets to go play while that's happening. I know you guys watch sci-fi. You watch some of those movies that showed you exactly that. Hatnan says, he says, each person is involved in an illusion or a game in which we may, if we wish, use our consciousness in meditation in such a way as to create a more rapid growth in personal evolution. It's about you. You were meant to personally grow. You were meant to have mishaps, mistakes. I love the way Michael Beckwith broke that word down. He said, instead of mistakes, he says mistakes. Something went wrong. Something didn't work out. Take another now moment, discern it, look back on it. If you spend time judging it, you're not going to see where things went amiss, and then you get to go do it again if you so choose. And don't judge yourself for the mistake. The divine isn't judging you. You're here in this polarity to create. Now that you find out that everything's a matrix, what do you want to do? Do you want to create or run? The matrix is all of the unknown that we have to make known. All the angles that we get to create and change. We're given all the tools. Meditation. We're given a body that can heal itself. It's waiting for us to give it a command. We've been given feelings and emotions. And then we have been given the gift of everyone awakening with their gifts to share with, to serve. I'm not even going to say just to share with the collective, but to share with humanity, to share with Earth consciousness, her body, and humanity, so that we can shift and evolve. And we have Jesus, and we have Buddha, we have Muhammad, and we have Hatna, and we have Ra, we have Isis. We have all the sages and the saints. We have our generational tribe that went before us, and they're following up the rear. Growth and expansion, and they're saying, "Oh, they've got they're following behind you. They're walking about behind you, billions strong, not just thousands, not just 2 generations behind you. We're talking about eons. We're talking about ancients." And they're saying, "You got this. Go play. Open the door, the screen door, and go out and play, honey. And when the street lights come on, you come home. You sleep well, regenerate your body, and then get up and play some more. Take what resonates, what doesn't." Back to you, Marcus.
Wow.
Wow.
Hatan.
Yes. And there's more. I mean, that video, I do believe some of it resonates with what is written here as well. So I haven't even hit most of it, so we're going to have to catch it, some more of it. I was like floored. It's like I have stuff like highlighted, and I'm going, wait a minute, you wanted me to read this again, but I didn't read this before. And the divine says, oh, yes, you did. You just didn't pay attention to it because you wanted to get to the raw stuff.
Yeah.
And this is true, right?
How beautiful the universe is.
Yes. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. I'm telling you, I am like the energy that's flowing right now. I don't know if I'll be able to get to sleep tonight.
I actually like to, if you feel open to it, I'd like to actually do a little short meditation for us.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I am definitely open.
Okay. Let's do a hat on meditation. I'm gonna open up my channel and invite Haton to connect with us in this meditation, and you'll receive whatever authentic message you need, however it needs to be received intuitively for you. And yeah, everybody that would like to participate on the live side, feel free to get cozy. And we're gonna go ahead and tap in some Haton energy. All right. Just get yourself comfortable. Allow yourself to have a straight back as much as you can. If you're sitting, having your feet flat on the ground. You're laying down, having your legs straight and not crossed. And then relaxing the shoulders, allowing them to drop to the side. Relaxing the wrists, the elbows, and the fingers. And then lastly, releasing the jaw, making sure we're not clenching our teeth. And then focusing on the breath, staying with the rhythm of the breath. Whether you breathe through the nose, breathe through the mouth, just continue to rotate and cycle the breath. Allow yourself to continue to become lighter, more relaxed and at ease with every breath, grounding to the earth and opening up to the divine. Planting our root chakra to the earth grid, raising the 1,000-petal lotus on the violet crown, continuing to breathe as we open and clear our channels, our energy centers, be able to receive with clarity, to be able to integrate, to discern the energy of Haton that is going to be channeled, staying with the breath. Yatai suku ata imata ishiktia to apaya ku shitiati bupa pasitia ka ukupipia la usipipia shitiati ikuota yasi yata shu pia seta yaruku pia shitutura shitia nata ukipia taira shurura ia taya tu utu tiana sikitia te ushishiato to usu Itziatai, Uko Payatai, Ike Atu Tiasa, Ukataya Shiatia Naku, Uya Manasa, Utu Ishikiatai, Ta Uko Tonya Shimete, Usia Shurura Paya, Kuku Shiane, Ukupiata, Uzi Tia Sheta Putu Tia Patiata, Rishiki Anata. Ayai no Kotia Nashio Tudo Ayai Atatai Ukonima Yoshoti Isipiata Yokota Yapayasa Yokoti Osoto Yata Shiata Yamapiaka Take a big deep breath. And an even bigger exhale. Staying with the rhythm of the breath, riding the wave. Allow yourself to settle back in and gently land back into your physical avatar. Take the time that you need to return, to integrate properly, to consciously be present in your physical avatar. Yatuku ashikiti imanatuta ishinyako.
Doko ate sumata chishu sondo toko utaye. Shino totuka ai. Erai sono toka ai ne. Neoshine na hua. Kendo to chashena tatia chu. Tono totuku uti. Tino tokutok ai yes. Moloto toche no toto tikiene sana toku o tai una hishi utu ushi ni titi ku chinena ia Molushia sana te kiku to te shi shona toku u ambaka ate ushana te shana toku u na yese no toku a Polokusha no totoku una here. Teoshana takiana ata ai una ke anata takia ai. And I hear ha. Shona takitu natia. Yeah, na here so no totoku aya. Yeah, na shi shono totoku ai se ne ku. Kuante te ushi no totoku alime. Shino to all the begier. Yeah, not toto. Damn. I need to get me one of those big feathers.
Oh, God. I can barely keep my eyes open over here. Whew. Wow.
They are but humble messengers. They came because we called. They answered the call. Toot sweet. Just like that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hydrate.
Wow, there's
I'm going to tell you. When the divine wants you to know, the divine wants you to know. It's going to come in any form, any and all forms. Why? Because everything is an infinite possibility. What's right for one person at that particular time is because they had it in a thought. They carried the thought to action by speaking it aloud. They took that spoken word and they created with it, and it created and became their belief. And they held their belief so intently and with passionate power that it became their truth. And the divine said, if it's your truth, let it be so. And then guess what? You get to have more wisdom and more understanding imparted into you so that you can, at some point, decide when the truth no longer holds resonance within you. And it's time to let it go and let it flow. But only you can let it go. Only you can surrender it when it's no longer for your highest and greatest good, because you're the creator of that story. You're the writer. You're the lead character, and you're every other character as well. You really are. You may have that character be your mom, but you and your mom are wholeness. You and your dad are wholeness. You and your sister and brother and best friends and co-workers and bosses and affiliates of this and collaborators of that, your wholeness. So anytime you want to change your story, guess what? Get to writing. Matter of fact, go find the script and go tear it up and surrender it. And then say out loud, I'm opting out of this story now. Because I know what's next for me. And then go and see with your inner spirit what's next for you. Intention plus energy. Intention is your thought, and energy is all the energy that you have within you. The scientists have proved it. I keep saying it every episode. They have proved that human beings have enough energy in them to light up several cities. One scientist said that he believes that human beings are walking atom bombs. He believed that we had that much power. So intention plus that much power that's within you, what are you going to create with it? What are you going to change with it? If you're saying, I'm woke, I'm this, then you know you're a creator. Go play. And then join us for episode 7.
And then come play with us.
Come play. Infinite possibilities. Come play.
Oh.
Yes, just like a little kid. Oh, geez. Do I have to go in now?
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. I've enjoyed playing with you today. I've enjoyed Hatnan giving us some very delicious, and I'm going to say that when I first came on to Instagram and all my platforms, I used the word delicious a lot because it was a way to describe how tantalizing and tasty wisdom and understanding was for me. If food can put a smile on your face, or whatever you think is that decadent thing that puts a smile on your face, equate that to wisdom and understanding, and then go with the flow of it. To some people, being on the surf, riding that surfboard, catching that wave, riding the inside of it, that's what wisdom and understanding feels like. waiting all day for that right wave and moving in for it when they feel it, that vibration. Some people it's music. Some people it's vocal, it's humming. For some people, it's standing there and letting the wind play music on your body. That's right, I said play music on your body. This morning I did that. I was sitting there in the dog run while my dog was doing business and just looking up at the sky and just feeling the wind talk to my every part of my body. I didn't even notice that there was someone else waiting to come in the dog run, just wondering, what the hell is she doing? I was letting the wind play music for me. I was letting the wind use my giving me goosebumps, using my hairs to play a symphony for me. That was my meditation. I didn't have to sit down and cross my legs. I just took a breath in, looked up at the sky, and I was gone. I was where the divine was. That's all you got. Yeah, I hear you. It's that simple, but it is. But it means even if you do it for 5 minutes and come out of it, you can either do one of two things. You can tell the thought that brought you out of it, hold on a minute, I got to go back and do another 5 minutes. I'll be right with you. Right? Just that simple. And if you keep doing that, that's a pattern. We do patterns for everything else that's not for our highest and greatest good. Why not this for your highest and greatest good? I'm just saying, you worth it.
That's right.
Right? So I do now have to go out and take care of my little puppy wuppy, who's not a puppy wuppy, but we let him think that he is. And I think I might sit out and let the wind play a little more, play me as an instrument a little bit more. But join us Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And 1 p.m.
On the east side.
On the east side. That's right. So 10 p.m. 10 a.m. on the west side and 1 p.m. on the east side. Yes. Where both coasts meet each other, baby, through Sandee and Christolight.
And now it's time for us to have the Boogie Wonderland.
Yes.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here you go. Here you go. Oh. Boogie Wonderland, come play. Come play. We're expanding. I'll bring the chair back up here. Hydrate. All right, people.
Wow.
Wow. Boogie Wonderland. That's where we're playing at. What's your wonderland? Huh?
Oh,
Infinite possibilities. You got a rabbit hole? Alice had a rabbit hole. And we got a rabbit hole. Yeah, it can be dark and scary in it, but it's the unknown. And all the unknown is waiting for is your command to make it known. It's energy. Energy wants to serve. What do you want to ask?
Ooh.
It's waiting. Right? Where's your boogie wonderland? We found ours right here. And maybe, who knows, in the morning, we might go walk up the street from our house and just start dancing boogie wonderland. And
That's
then
right.
that'll be our play area. Where's yours? Hatnan said, it's your higher being and your body, and then your minds start to come all in sync with each other, and then that's wisdom and understanding. And then you get to play. Have fun.
Ashe.
Ashe. All right.
Everybody,
I gotta go. I gotta go play.
everybody stay
And
blessed.
I gotta find my boogie wonderland for my puppy wuppy. His name is Charlie. And matter of fact, his full name is Charlie Brown Marshall.
Charlie Brown.
Right, Charlie Brown.
Dance
And,
like Charlie Brown. That's right.
Yeah, that's Charlie Brown. So
Mm.
anyway, so peeps, I love you. Be the creator that you were meant to be. If for any moment, your now moment could only be 5 minutes of a now moment. Make it glorious. Thank you, Marcus, for allowing me to be your co-host. This is a wonderful adventure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I love
I'm just
exploring.
as grateful as this space wouldn't be what it was meant to be if I didn't have you as a co-host and me as the other co-host, because we're both co-hosts here.
Yeah,
No.
I think that, yeah. I never thought of it like that. I've always thought of it as the host and the co-host, but you just put it into perspective. We're actually wholeness.
It's a duet.
Yeah. It's a duet. We bring it always back to music, always back to the octave, baby.
That's
All
right.
right. All right.
Everybody,
So,
wholeness,
everybody,
balance,
peace,
love.
love, one love.
Be with it. We off in the hood like some wizards. Nobody ever gave us anything. Miss something from nothing, just like magicians. Gotta relearn everything. Just to remember that I was forgetting. Just to remember that we had a vision. Did it all, don't know how I did it. Time to go start season to go and you know those crystal truths. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Start season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we on the vision. Start season to go and you know those crystal truths. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Start season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we on the vision. Off on the mission, you know how it goes. Off in the system, they turn up their nose. They took all the soil, but they didn't know. Through the concrete, you see the roads. Eyes ain't open, don't mean I ain't woke. Ain't got no cash, don't mean that I'm broke.